In this video, I'll answer the question, what is extreme programming? Extreme programming is an agile software development methodology. It's designed to improve software quality and responsiveness to changing customer requirements. XP was developed in the 1990s by Kent Beck. It arose from his work on the Chrysler Comprehensive Compensation System project, or C3. XP focuses on adaptability, collaboration, and the frequent delivery of small, functional software increments. It's designed to address constant change in software requirements, and it uses small, co-located software development teams. Extreme programming has 5 core values. Simplicity, developing the simplest solution that works, avoiding over-engineering. Communication, continuous and effective communication between developers and stakeholders. The intention is to ensure clarity about requirements and goals. Feedback, frequent feedback from customers. This means constant testing and reviews to improve the product iteratively. Courage, honest progress updates. This requires a willingness to make changes, to refactor code, and to address problems as they arise. Respect. Foster a team environment of mutual respect. This is both among team members and between team members and their users and stakeholders. This also requires a sense of collaboration and shared responsibility. The key practices of extreme programming. XP practices have evolved over the years, as you might expect. There were originally 12 practices in Beck's original articulation. However, there are more now. But we'll just look at some of the more important practices. Pair programming has 2 developers working together at one workstation. The idea is that 2 brains and 4 eyes are better than 1 brain and 2 eyes. Throughout the process, one developer will be writing the code and the other will be reviewing it, commenting on it and challenging it as they go. Second is test-driven development, or TDD. This ensures that the system meets its requirements at each stage. Third is continuous integration. Code is integrated and tested frequently, ideally several times a day, to detect and fix issues early. Fourth is refactoring, continuously improving and simplifying the codebase without changing its functionality. We have a video on refactoring, and I'll put a link to it in the description. Fifth is small releases. We deliver small, functional pieces of software in short iterations, typically 1 to 2 weeks. This allows developers to respond quickly to feedback. Sixth is collective code ownership. Here, everyone on the team owns and is responsible for the code and can therefore make changes and improvements to it. Seventh is customer tests. User acceptance tests determine how close a feature is to the original user story. And eighth is sustainable pace. Work at a pace that is sustainable for the team in the long term to avoid burnout. This means maintaining a consistent and manageable workload throughout each iteration. The extreme programming lifecycle. The XP lifecycle uses feedback loops to refine delivery. There's a strong emphasis on listening and adapting. And we do this with stand-ups, retrospectives, and continuous collaboration with the customer. The process starts with user stories. User stories create the requirements that we need to develop to meet, and they also inform the test scenarios that we need to pass. User stories are prioritized by our stakeholders, and we have a video on user stories and I'll put a link in the description. Next comes release planning. This is collaborative planning with our stakeholders. Here, we prioritize the capabilities as represented by the user stories. When we need them, we also use spike stories to help us to understand the situation, to experiment, and to provide better estimates for how long pieces of work are likely to take. Now we can move to coding. Each iteration focuses on test-driven development, pair programming, and frequent commits to the code base. As part of this, we also have testing. We place an emphasis on automated unit tests and on acceptance tests. This ensures quality and prevents defects. And if we do have defects, these are referred back to future iterations. Finally, there are releases. We make small and frequent releases following successful customer approval. The benefits of extreme programming. So, what are the benefits of extreme programming? Practitioners claim a number of benefits when extreme programming is used properly and appropriately. Firstly, they will claim higher code quality. Test-driven development, pair programming, refactoring, and collective ownership all make the code base more robust and easier to maintain. Practitioners also claim faster response to change. Short iterations and continuous integration allow development teams to adapt quickly to new or changing requirements. The third benefit that practitioners claim is improved collaboration. Good communication and pair programming enhance knowledge sharing and problem solving. And finally, for my list, practitioners claim increased customer satisfaction from extreme programming. Continuous customer involvement and a series of frequent releases help to ensure that the product meets customer expectations. Challenges and criticisms of extreme programming. Of course, extreme programming is not without its critics. However, every methodology, every framework has its own domains of applicability. And XP works best when you have smaller teams and rapidly changing requirements. It's unlikely to be ideal in heavily regulated environments or for projects with large teams. Extreme programming is designed to have constant customer feedback and therefore to support a constant stream of change requests. This makes extreme programming highly flexible. There is a minimal time and cost overhead to process administration. But it can also lead to costly rework and also to scope creep beyond the original specification set out in the initial set of user stories. It can even lead to gold plating. It's also worth noting that some developers find pair programming uncomfortable. The doubling up of resources can mean that the extra costs might outweigh the additional benefits that you get from the added scrutiny of a second pair of eyes and a second brain. And finally, for all of its informality, XP requires a lot of discipline. This is especially so in maintaining test-driven development, continuous integration, and a sustainable pace through a long project. So, to conclude, extreme programming is a highly disciplined and people-centered methodology for software development. It values collaboration, adaptability, and continuous improvement. And to do this, it makes use of a large number of helpful practices, each of which, on its own, may contribute to a project. Understanding extreme programming will help you to assess the judgment of a development team that chooses to use it. At its best, it can deliver high-quality software that is flexible and responsive to the changing needs of the business. Please do give this video a like if you've enjoyed it or learned from it. I'll be making loads more great project management videos for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.